KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt or for home improvements by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Learn more at splatero.com.
Folks, Julio Ortiz here, producer for Port of Entry, back from winter hiatus. With me are the hosts Alan Inintal and Natalie Gonzalez. Behind the boards is audio wizard Adrian Villalobos. Chicos, how are you?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, it's good to be back. Yes.
It's all right.
Adrian, how are you?
It's fine.
I'm doing all right.
All right. Today's episode is our chance to reflect on last year's episode and talk about what we did differently and what things are we expecting in the next few months. But before we continue, Alan and Natalie, can you help me introduce the show?
From KPBS, this is Port of Entry.
Where we tell cross-border stories that connect us.
I'm Alan Lilienthal.
And I'm Natalie Gonzalez.
And that's Julio Ortiz Franco.
And over there is...
Adrian Villalobos.
All right. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt or for home improvements by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Learn more at splatero.com.
You are listening to Port of Entry.
Hey, folks, if you're just tuning in, we are talking about last year and the future. Quick check-in, guys. Natalie and Alan, Adrian, how was last year for you two, you three?
Like in general?
In general, yeah.
Like not just Port of Entry, like just our lives.
Yeah, I like your lives, yeah.
Yeah, you go
Yeah.
first.
No,
it was
no,
a
no.
good year. It was a good year.
I think it was a good year, but you go first.
What did I do last year? What did we do last year? No, it was a good year. I moved out of my parents' house and I'm living now with my boyfriend. And so cute. And it's been great. Economy is pretty rough. Now I have to pay rent and a lot of stuff. And I miss my parents, but it's okay. I love my boyfriend.
What's the most that you miss from your parents?
Not paying rent. And the fridge was always full. And no, but it's been great. I do miss my parents, but I love living with my boyfriend. And also last year I started working with the KPBS web team because I started a new position as a Spanish web producer. So now KPBS has content in Spanish besides Port of Entry.
So you've probably already seen her in the KPBS socials. Natalie rocks it as the Spanish contributor.
Yes.
Or is a correspondent. Contributor, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say contributor. Yeah.
I don't know. ¿Y tú, Alan?
I had a good year. I survived. I lived to see another year. That's always a nice blessing. I moved back to Tijuana, but actually that was this year. That was at the beginning of this year. So I finished my stint in San Diego, and I made a lot of music. I got a cat. Got a little cat. Adopted a cat. And what else did I do last year? I learned a lot. I got closer to God. And I prayed a lot. And now I'm here. Happy to be alive.
Blessings.
Yes.
What's your cat's name?
Hesse, like the author Herman Hesse.
Herman Hesse. Who's your Herman Hesse author? Or book, sorry.
My favorite Herman Hesse book is probably Narcissus and Goldmund. But Siddhartha is probably the one that I've read the most.
Yeah.
I love
Did
Siddhartha.
you read Steppenwolf?
Honestly, it's the one, I just bought it recently. It's the only one I haven't read.
I think I dropped it after 10 pages. I don't know why. I was maybe just busy. But yeah.
I've heard it's really good. But yeah, it's Siddhartha is the most classic.
Funny that she says, I think it's the book that pushed all of the sort of Hollywood eyes into the Eastern philosophies or just from the Western.
Yeah, I think he had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think he was. I think. Don't quote me on that.
He did. Him and the Beatles. The Beatles also had a lot to do with it. Because they started going to India to meditate.
When did Herman Hesse pass away?
I think in the 50s, 1950s.
Boring.
All right, that's one.
Yeah, she didn't like to read.
Adrian,
She
how
only watches novelas.
how was your?
I'm reading Twilight again.
True.
No, I'm not reading Twilight. Again. Not again. Oh, and now Alan and we are practically neighbors.
Practically. But she hasn't come over yet.
Yeah, because he hasn't invited me. But
It's because I'm waiting for it. I want to impress her with my home.
Oh, so when are you having a housewarming party?
That's probably in early May.
beautiful.
All right. Everybody's invited. Come in,
Yeah,
audience.
really, you are. Everyone's invited.
Adrian, how was your last year?
It was good, just like Alan. I learned a lot. I also was working on music, and we did a lot of also fun episodes for Port of Entry. Very like developmental year, I think. There was a big learning year for me. I was wrapping up school. I'm in grad school, so that was a lot of fun.
You also moved out of your parents' house, didn't you?
Yeah, that too. That was actually this year, though. Yeah.
Oh, wait. And last year, I had a bunch of performances. That was the year, ¿cómo se dice? Que más performances he tenido.
Way to
year with
interrupt.
the
Way to
The
interrupt
year with the
Adrian.
most. What?
It was in the middle of the sentence. You're like,
I didn't hear that.
all right, finish up, Adrian.
That was it. You can interrupt, Natalie.
He was done. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was the year with the most.
With the most theater
Yeah,
performances.
how many performances?
I think 40, which is
wow.
a lot for an artist from Tijuana because it's like you can rarely perform that many times porque you need money. Well, the company needs money. But yeah, I had a lot of performances with my theater company. Go check them out, Tijuana Hace Teatro.
Did you get paid?
Yes, I am a professional actress. Yeah, I
Oh,
got
that's
paid.
so awesome, dude. That's what happened here.
How do you think she bought that leather jacket?
This is secondhand.
For the audience there, we both came in today to the studio wearing matching outfits or color-coded outfits. What's it?
Without
Black
trying.
and white?
Without trying.
When we actually, fun fact, when Natalie started working here, the first 6 times that we hung out, we were wearing the exact same colors without trying.
That's what it thinks. I was outside his home
Spying. What is he wearing?
to make him believe we're connected.
Just manipulating everything.
Whole life is a lie.
Love me. My last year, obviously.
I'm sorry, no one asked you.
Okay.
How was your year?
I'm kidding. We want to hear about your year.
Yeah, let him speak.
I had a significant life event in late 2023.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Take it back.
No, don't worry. I lost my mom, and it was a year in which I've been reflecting about life. And if your audience have seen a diminishment in the episodes, that had a little bit to do with it. And so we're ready to pick up the pace now. And so you will get a lot of stuff from us, some of which is different. But it was a year for me, lessons in life, just to take things slowly, to allow yourself to feel stuff, feel things, and to see the people who see you, to know that you're supported and people who will have your back. And so it was a year of blessings in disguise, I would say that. Yes. Also, guys, moving on, to bring back the conversation to Port of Entry, guys, any specific episode did you enjoy producing last year?
Last year?
Yeah.
Producing? No, I hated the whole. No, just kidding.
I honestly don't remember. I'm having a hard time between this year and last year, like drawing the marking.
I think
What did we do last year? Did we do Moomin last year?
We do. No, that was
last year was
from Amal,
planetary scale,
a planetary scale. Amal, we did 8 de Marzo.
Day of the
Day
Dead,
of the
Comic Con. We
Halloween.
I really.
Halloween.
Oh, I'll tell you which one I
Yeah.
really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Port of Entry moment and episode from last year was producing the one that we produced in parallel with a live event with Charles and Giancarlo. Not only because I just like live events, I like being in front of an audience and being able to connect in that way. It's different when you're behind a microphone and you don't have any idea who you're talking to. I like seeing people's faces. But also just, it was a chance to... I've known Giancarlo for many years and I always love hanging out with him. But I've looked up to Charles's work for so many years. It was really nice to become friends with him and hang out with him at his home, be able to look into his process.
We haven't aired that episode yet.
Oh, we produced it last year, though.
Produced it. We're still working on it. And so you will get that audience, if you're listening to this, get it within the next month.
Well, maybe that'll make it more excited.
Yes. So that was definitely fun. So we did have a live event. Natalie, what was your favorite episode to produce?
not to produce it, but to listen to specifically because it wasn't that big of a deal to produce. It was the Day of the Dead episode, but it's because of your part. Because I wasn't expecting your part to be deep and touching and emotional. And I was pissed at first with Adrian because that was supposed to be like an easy episode. Like we were supposed to just send an audio to go to a special place that reminded us of someone we love that it's not here with us anymore, and just record an audio and just send that. And it was going to be like an easy episode to produce. And then Julio was just like, okay, I'm not done yet. We were like, bro, it's just an audio. So we were pissed at first, but when I heard the episode, I cried. And then I made my boyfriend listen to the episode and he cried. And then my parents heard the episode and they cried. And it was a beautiful episode because of your part specifically. And I don't know why, but I liked it more in English. I don't know why I felt like the English version was more deep than the Spanish version, which is interesting because I usually enjoy listening to stuff in Spanish more. Okay. But this time, I think the English the English version was better. And it was so deep and touching. And yeah.
Yeah. I've actually I listened it a couple times after that, and it's just definitely one of those. I literally break down because to hear my mother's voice, and it's just so amazing that we're at a time in our life where we can record in such a way so easily, and because obviously we've always had video recording for the past 30 years, but that's very significant. But still, to be able to have that easy access to somebody's voice prints and video, to me, that's something that you guys don't notice. But I thought I lost those clips. Producing because my memory got wiped out from my phone, and so I was able to download them back from WhatsApp. Thank you to the cloud, but yeah, I thought I lost those, but I have them, and so you heard them. Day of the Dead was definitely difficult to produce. Definitely gave me the most satisfaction, but it's not my favorite of the episodes. Uh-huh. I really enjoy the planetary scale because I got to learn how to construct and build with biomaterials. It's a 4-part series, 2 of which just aired. And the last 2 parts features Alan's younger sibling, who's a bioarchitect and designer in Valle. But yeah, I got to hang out with Ita, and that was really cool over there. Because there was a point when we got to hang out at a creek. Remember that? That was
we went in the water.
In the water. That was a lot of fun.
First time I saw Julio naked.
Whoa.
Half naked. See, my beautiful panza. Anyways, yeah, so those are 2 episodes that were really fun to produce. Alan?
Yes.
Oh, you already mentioned.
I mentioned.
Adrian.
Comic-Con was a lot of fun.
That was so
really
much
fun
fun.
episode to produce, and taking the lead there, me and Natalie, and just finding an excuse to just go out and just, I don't know, just be in like the thick of Comic-Con was really fun to see, and just hanging out with people and talking with people and seeing what we can do for free and just running around the city. It was a lot of fun. So that was really like one of my favorites.
Yeah, Comic-Con was great. Should we talk about how we got inside the special Comic-Con parties? Nah, let's just avoid that. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
People know us. We got personally invited.
We got personally invited.
Just say that.
I did not catch what you said.
Nothing.
They party. All right. Apparently.
Yeah, no, what I liked about that episode is that it just, folks, I've been made an effort to show you how funny Natalie is, but I try to place that front and center in that episode, how funny she is. And so
what episode?
The Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the gags and shticks and everything that make her so funny were there. And so it's an episode I recommend you to watch to just have a feel for how hilarious Natalie is. Anyway, so moving on. We also did a few things, and we already mentioned one of them. It was a deviation from our normal curriculum. So we did a little bit of community involvement and a live event. Alan, can you just give us the build-up of how we got there?
We've been wanting to do live events for years and years. It's something that we very briefly experimented with before the pandemic. And then obviously everything got shut down. We actually did do a few events during the pandemic, but there were those Zoom events where everyone just shows up without their pants on and no one knows. But we had some cool interviews. But we always wanted to get in front of an audience and eventually hopefully do a cross-border club and cross the border. But anyways, I was in touch with some people from the San Diego Design Week who had a kind of an open call for events from the community that have ties to the border, because this year was a special year for the design world of this region, where San Diego and Tijuana were designated the World Design Capital. So for San Diego Design Week, they were looking for events. And I, without really telling anyone on the team, I just applied as port of entry. Actually, I did tell Julio right before. I was like, hey, what do you think about applying for this? And we ran through some ideas.
Like, if you take the lead, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, so we ran through some ideas about doing like taking an audience through a live taping of what we do. And we were playing with different kinds of ideas of like maybe actually having a tour, like going like how we normally do an episode where we go to the subject's studio or house or whatever and having people follow us. But at the end of the day, with logistics, we decided it would be best to just have it in the studio in KPBS. Luckily, we got in because we made a great pitch. And from what I heard, because I went to a few of the closing parties for San Diego Design Week, like all the staff, we were the talk of the town. Like the KPBS event that we did was a lot of people's favorite, which was really cool to hear because we did put a lot of love into it. And the whole team, Julio and Lisa and Adrian and obviously Nat, like everyone really just went above and beyond. And I think people really liked not only Charles and Giancarlo, who are very charismatic guests.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing. And there's naturals in front of an audience. Because some people are great at what they do, but they can't hold an audience, and they're
Charles
masters.
Was a little bit too natural.
Yeah.
Saludos, Charles.
See, yeah, just a little bit. But people loved it, and I hope that we do it all the time.
Yeah, we killed it, guys. It was I did not expect it to be such a successful thing, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
And so I was pleasantly surprised. And now management wants us to do these events twice a year.
They wanted us to do it once a quarter.
Once a quarter, wow.
But I don't think we're going to do that.
Yeah, no. I'm like, no. We're definitely going to do it at least once a year. The most twice a year, if budget permits, of course.
Uis.
We also got to be involved in another project called Voices del Valle. And this is a podcast that was selected through the Explorer program that features kids, high school students from Central High School in Imperial County in Central California. We've been basically mentoring them in a sense, leading them, and we got to help them out. And last December, the team designed a little bit of a boot camp to basically coach the students. Natalie was there.
Wait, that was
December.
December?
Yeah.
No, wasn't it this year?
No, that's the second part.
No, that was not in December.
Yeah, it was.
Adrian, it was December?
In December.
It was a couple days before my show.
What?
That's why Alan couldn't go because he had the commitment.
Oh yeah, that was a great day. I wasn't expecting the students to be so talented and have those voices because they have great voices. And they know a lot about podcasting. I thought they were like newbies or something, but no, they know a lot about it. And it was very fun. And I actually enjoyed working with the youth of this country.
Yes. And yeah, so keep an eye on that. That podcast will, I think, premiere within the next few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be pleasantly surprised of that content. Guys, why don't we go on a short break?
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
You're listening to Port of Entry.
So, basically, what to expect for the future months. We are continuing to wrap the season we started last year, Visionaries of the Borderland, as well as sprinkling a number of bonus episodes here and there. So, we have Nortec's 25th anniversary. We have an episode also focused on being a filmmaker in Tijuana, a woman filmmaker in Tijuana, which Natalie's taking the lead on that. Another episode on migrants helping migrants in the new Trump era, which Natalie's also taking the lead on that. And it will be premiering Compadres en Art, our episode of the live event. And that will be a bundle of a different type of episodes. After that, 2 episodes on transborder education. Then a taco tour with the crew of The Finest, KPBS's new San Diego-focused podcast project. Definitely recommended. Anthony and Julia and Chrissy have been doing a great job putting that together. Then we'll wrap up the Planetary Scale series for the last 2 episodes, which is going to feature Alan's younger sibling, Ita. A handful that we are currently producing that will give you content all the way through late July. And then we'll be taking another 2-month hiatus to produce our next season, which is we're going to be revolving around Indigenous stories. And after that season, a story of music in the border region, which Alan is excited about that. Okay. Funny enough is that the Nortec episode was going to be featured on that, but since they hit a milestone, we just said, hey, let's push it forward. We will also be debuting, drumroll please, can I get a drum roll, guys? Video shorts. We're producing one video short that will be 10 to 15 minutes long every season. Why? Well, there are many visual elements that elude audio podcasting, and we want to capture those moments. So please, if you see these and enjoy them, leave a like and a comment. Your engagement is how we measure what you like. Last is just we also want to thank our departing bilingual editor, Melissa Sandoval. Her time at KPBS came short because, well, her side business turned into her main business, and so she had to basically cut us loose. Saludos a Melissa.
And go check out her coffee business, Intuición Café.
And her coffee business is called Intuición, and we wish her all the best, and hope she gets rich and she can send us gifts.
Yay!
So this is also a open call for a new editor. So if you're interested, if you got good writing and editing skills, go to kpbs.org/careers. See, am I forgetting something, guys?
I don't think so.
Guys, thank you so much.
That is all.
We can't wait to be back with
Solid.
more.
Yes. Can you give me an outro?
You've been listening to Port of Entry.
No, the actual outro.
Oh, yes. This episode,
Yes.
This episode of Port of Entry was written and produced by Julio Cesar Ortiz. Was it written? Yeah. This episode of Port...
It was not really written.
Hey. The outline I wrote, right?
Okay, this episode of Port of Entry was written and produced by Julio Cesar Ortiz Franco.
Adrián Villalobos is technical producer and sound designer. Elma González Lima Brandao is our interim editor.
Lisa Jane Morissette is director of audio programming and operations.
This program is made possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.
This project was also made possible with support from California Humanities, a nonprofit partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. Visit callhome.org.
Soy Alan Lilienthal.
Y yo soy Natalia González.
Nos vemos pronto.
Hey guys, Adrian here, Port of Entry technical producer and sound designer. Our producer Julio forgot to mention some dates that we're going to be a part of, a couple events, so I'm going to go ahead and read those off. First, we're going to be a part of San Diego City College's Podfest on April 23rd, 2025 at San Diego City College from 2 to 4 p.m. We're also going to be a part of Tijuana Design Week on May 2nd, 2025 at the Escuela Libre de Arquitectura from 2 to 3 p.m. We hope you guys can join us. You can find all the more information in the description. We hope to see you there. Thanks.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more. Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.